Today we're going to go over how to apply several different finishes to bands. If you want your standard band to look like this, here's what you're going to need. First, you'll need a ring, a lathe, 4-inch aluminum oxide flat wheel, and some finger cots. First, you need to polish your piece. Now place your wheel onto your lathe, letting the lathe do the work. It should rotate onto the wheel and lock it into place. Firmly holding your piece, you're going to bring it to the wheel, making these downward motions, following the rotation of the wheel, making sure that we're getting the full ring here. You can do that just by rotating it. We want it to be consistent. And once you've covered the entire piece, we're going to take it to the steamer. And that's it. Now we have a gorgeous satin finish. If you want your standard band to have this ice finish, this is what you're going to need. First, you'll need a ring and 120 grit sandpaper. The first step in this process is you'll want to polish your ring. And then grabbing your 120 grit sandpaper, you're going to want to firmly hold the ring, and in the other hand with the sandpaper, you'll want to make these upward strokes, sort of like striking a match. You can do it in random directions, nothing too uniform. And I'm just turning the ring to make sure I cover all the shiny areas. We don't want any shiny areas left once we're done with this finish. Just touching up some areas here. Just making those upward strokes, sort of like striking a match. And we're done. That is how you do an ice finish. If you want your standard band to look like this right here with the stone finish, this is what you'll need to get started. First, you'll need a ring, you'll need 1200 grit sandpaper, 320 grit sandpaper, a coolie wheel mounted on a 3/32 mandrel, some finger cots, a micromotor or flex shaft handpiece, and safety glasses. So to start off, you're gonna polish your ring. And here I'm inserting my coolie wheel into my micromotor. I'm just going to adjust this to 8. For this, I'm going to use an auto cruise function on my motor. That way there's less variation in the finish. So there's no start or finish line on the band. We just don't want that to happen, so you will use the auto cruise function. All right, I'm going to hold the piece firmly here, starting at the top, being careful not to come into the lap area. I'm going to come all the way across. Keep in mind to keep the pattern the same, you don't need to press very hard here. Going all the way around, making sure any shiny pieces are covered and not missed. Some light pressure here, letting the micromotor do the work. Be sure to have your safety glasses on. The gold fragment pieces will come off as you're using your micromotor, so we just want to be careful to not get that in our eyes. Going all the way around here still, applying that light pressure that we talked about earlier. Once you've gone around the entire ring with your micromotor, we're going to focus on smoothing out the lap areas of the piece. So go ahead and grab that 320 grit sandpaper, and then we'll use the 1200 grit sandpaper. Place the sandpaper on a flat surface with the lap area flat against it. This process is to smooth out the lap areas. We just don't want there to be any notches on the piece. You see how there are a few notches on this side? We're going to smooth those out just a little more to make sure that it's consistent with the rest of the piece. Grabbing your 1200 grit sandpaper, we're going to use this on the lap areas. This is a finer sandpaper, so it's just going to add a little bit of shine to the piece. You can use a lap machine, but I personally prefer using the sandpaper just because it's a little bit quicker. Okay, and once the lap areas are smoothed out, consistent, and has that little bit of shine, you can go ahead and steam your piece. And here is the finished product with a beautiful stone finish. If you want your standard band to look like this with a gorgeous Florentine finish, this is what you're going to need. First, you'll need a ring, your graver smith, and a line graver. You'll need 1200 grit sandpaper, 320 grit sandpaper. First, you'll start with your polished ring. You'll have your line graver here. So throughout the process, as I go across, you'll want these lines to be as uniform as possible. All 8 lines might not mark the ring fully, so you'll definitely need to make a few passes, which can take a while. We want to make a diamond pattern here, so to create that, you'll need to go in one direction at 45 degrees, completely all the way around the ring. And then again at 45 degrees, we're going to go in the opposite direction and cross hatch it, which I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Make sure you're holding it as flush as possible, and then you'll start making your marks in an upward direction. Just gonna wiggle it here just a little to make sure it's in the groove before I go back across. It's okay for it to take several attempts to get that desired effect. And just turn it as you need to. See how the ring is moving a little bit? Make sure your ring is tight, not too tight to where it'll stretch your ring, but you don't want it to be too loose. Just holding it as flush as possible. This is a bit of a longer process and can definitely take a few hours to do, so don't get discouraged. Once I'm done making my pass all around in one direction, we're going to go back and make your crosshatch pattern at 45 degrees. When doing the crosshatch, you want to be lighter with your passes, lighter than the recent pass we just did. It will take quite a few passes, but we want to make sure that we're lighter here to get that desired effect. And you can see that pattern coming out a little bit here. Still just holding it lightly, going all the way around. And now that I've gone all the way around, you can take it off and there you go. We have a beautiful Florentine finish. If you have problems on the lap side, you can just use your sandpaper to help smooth that out. If you want your standard band to look like this with a hammer finish, here's what you're going to need to get started. First, you'll need a ring, an aluminum mandrel, a steel mandrel, and a ball peen hammer. First, we're just going to polish that ring and your hammer. You want to polish your hammer in case there's any residue or anything, as it will imprint on the ring. So we just want it nice, shiny, and smooth. Grab your aluminum mandrel and measure your ring. We want to measure it because when you're applying a hammer finish, the ring will stretch out. This happens because we're repeatedly hammering the piece. It will literally stretch an entire size up. So for example, if you need a size 7, you're going to start with a size 6. Now we're going to apply the finish. Grabbing your steel mandrel, you're going to place your ring on there, making sure that the mandrel is in good condition. That way it doesn't impinge on the inside of the finger rail. Go ahead and place your steel mandrel into your bench or your mandrel holder. And just making sure that that hammer has a nice high polish, go ahead and grab it. I prefer to choke up on the handle so I have a bit more control on the impact, but you can really hold it however you prefer. Just like this. Remember that consistency is key with this special finish, so just turning that mandrel, rotating it, getting all of the areas of the ring. And it's okay to hit it a little hard, just making sure that both the hammer and mandrel are firm and we're turning that ring. I'm going to just tap this off a little and flip the ring. You want to be sure to get those edges all around the ring so that way the finish is consistent on both sides. Now, if you see that it didn't catch on some spots, make sure you touch it up a little bit, just hitting it repeatedly until it's consistent across the piece. And now the finish is fully applied and uniform, so I think we are good to go here. That is how you apply a special hammer finish. If you want to learn how to apply other types of special finishes, be sure to check out our other videos. Everything I use in the video is linked in the description below, so be sure to check that out.